This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
So I snapped it one day going about 120 mile an hour. That's what I do when I drive down there.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
There's a phrase on top that says, do what you love. I'm going to put that one in my office.
It is the 13th of August, 2022. My name's Corey Winfield.
My name's Marney Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Welcome in. Today is kind of a makeup day, kind of not, because normally we're doing podcasts on Saturdays, but I didn't do one on Thursday. Mm-hmm. So I have some kind of degenerative bone something, and my legs hurt. It's really weird. It's like back problems, bones hurting, and old. And I was like, And the plan was I hooked up with that lady, not hooked up with her, but connected with the woman in New Zealand. And I was going to have her on the podcast anyway. But since she's like 2.5 days ahead in the future, being in New Zealand, it's like 16 hours. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, we'll just do that because it was going to be her Saturday, but our Friday. And I was like, I'll just do that then. And I wasn't feeling so hot on Thursday. So I was like, let's just do that. And I'll publish that one on Friday or tomorrow or yesterday.
That didn't work.
No. I told her, hey, ready, let's go. And she's like, oh, can we do it another day? I think she was afraid.
Maybe.
She was scared.
Maybe.
She listened to some of our podcasts and she's like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't want to be on with that crazy nut. Like, what? That dude,
I feel for you.
He's got to get roped into it. Like Marney. No, so that was my plan. And then that fell through. And I was like, oh, I guess I just had to use sick day.
Yep.
Which, okay. My paycheck's going to be the same, so.
$0.
That's what's great about doing something for free is if you miss a day, it doesn't hurt your paycheck.
That's true.
You know?
It's true. And you also don't get overtime either, though.
No
or
overtime.
After hours.
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, it keeps me sober, so that's a win-win at the end of the day there.
That's for sure.
You know, if somebody said, hey, here's what you have to do a couple times a week. If you do that, you'll stay sober the rest of your life. When you go, okay, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
And it was nothing painful. It was actually something that you enjoyed to do. You're like, wasn't painful. What? Mm-hmm. You're like, tell me about this thing that you do a few times a week that's not painful or pain in the ass. That's what you're like saying in your head right now. And now you're staring at me like, yes, honey, let's move on.
No, I'm thinking about the concept and how it's just a beautiful thing. And we talk about that quite a bit on here is that finding things that you enjoy, you know, you feel like you need to look for things to keep yourself busy, quote unquote. That partially may be true, but do stuff that you love to do, that you love to spend time doing. Then it doesn't seem like a chore.
Yeah.
And that, you know, and do it sober. So much better.
It really is. My man, Brett, he just kind of moved back to a different city. And man, I still think in his mind, he believes that, no, I'm not like everybody else and I can still drink. It's like, I don't know what it's going to take, you know, and I don't remember what it took me. Well, I guess trip to the hospital, but many trips to the hospital. But just that accepting that you can't. And then realizing like, wow, what was I fighting all that for? Like being drunk isn't even that great. It's horrible. You make an ass of yourself. Like,
yeah. But at the same time, I can relate to being in a place where, like, you're just, like, that's great that all these other people have found sobriety and they're happy living like this. But maybe it's just, maybe I can't do it. You know, questioning yourself. And you just got to get out of that mentality. You got to get out of the idea that you can't do it because you can. It takes work and diligence and commitment. But it's definitely doable. And telling yourself that you can't isn't going to get you anywhere.
Right.
I mean, you'll stay in that rut. You will convince you're actually talking yourself into staying in your addiction.
I sent him the questions that the preacher said.
Yeah.
What if you really could? Mm-hmm. What if it really is that great?
Right.
He was like, oh, if I could just pull together enough to get a job and find some place to live. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Just keep suffering, bro. But I get it, man. Like, I was there too. I was fighting it and thought, oh no, and just that not wanting to let go.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you do, when you let go of holding on to that, oh, I can still drink one day, and it's like, you'll realize, like, what in the F was I holding on to? Misery, pain, like nothing good came from alcohol. And people told me that. And I, like you said, looking at other people and, wow, it must work for them. That's great, but it's not going to happen for me. It's because I was still holding on, and I don't know how to tell someone to let go.
You can't.
It takes what it takes for them to finally get it and to understand what that means to, like, let go of the thought of wanting to drink again. And once you do let go, you realize it's not that fun anyway. You know, alcohol is a drug. A lot of people forget that. Of course, we don't.
Well, and not to be so cliche, but the whole definition of insanity, right? You think it's going to be different this time, and it never is. And I've even heard from that individual himself is just like, yeah, I don't know why I thought it was going to be great again. It was not even great.
Oh. But you have to go through that. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
I still tell people this day, I remember that time when I got home and swigged the bottle, waited the minute 34, minute 42, whatever it is, for it to hit the bloodstream. Then it finally did. And I was like, what? So I took another big old swig, and it never got better. It never was that buzz that my brain had told me it was going to give me. Mm-hmm. And I felt betrayed by my brain. I did. I was like, fucking lying to me, man? Like, wait, he can't be lying to me, brain. But it did. It lied to me. It set up this whole picture telling me it was going to feel so good and be so great. And then it was awful. And then after the first couple swigs in, okay, I've chose to go down that road. You know, there is no turnaround on this one. Mm-hmm. So you just go down. It's miserable. And I knew that this is going to suck. I just let everybody down again. Let myself down again. Damn. You know, and I got lied to on the way. That's horrible. But I still drank again after that, and I think it was maybe one more time after that.
Can I segue into something that you're not going to think it makes sense, but
you want to talk about football?
No.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about the show I'm watching.
Oh, football?
Lock and Key.
Oh, not right now the one you're watching, but just the one that's on in the other room.
That I was binge watching today.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about it.
Well, we don't have to talk about it all. It's kind of sort of has a Harry Potter kind of feel to it. Which I did not watch the Harry Potter thing, so I don't know. I'm just going by what I've heard, little bits. But anyway, what I want to get to is they have a character in there who's a person in recovery. She's an alcoholic. And the crazy part about how this relates is because there's so much to tell about this series, and it's really good. So I think you guys should watch it. Don't make fun of me for it. It's really great. Anyway, it's on Netflix, and there's 3 seasons of it now. Anyhow,
that's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, are you done?
Okay, I'm done. All right,
okay. No, so there's this one character, Nina, who's the mom of these children, the Locke children. That's their last name. It's Locke, but ironically enough, they have these keys that do magical things. Well, one of these keys actually lets the person into their own brain. Right?
Man,
so they have this physical thing where you can, go into their brain, and then how whatever it is that they liked, or kind of their personality, likes, dislikes, whatever, that's how their brain world looks like. So the point is there's little things that they can pick up, and they'll be able to see memories throughout of their whole life. And so this lady who was an alcoholic, who's currently right now in the season in recovery, she was sober when it first started. Then she relapsed in the second season, and then she got back on to recovery, and she's been that way. Point is that when she's looking through these memories, she gets in this like super depression mode because she's viewing all these memories, and she's seeing herself drinking in them, like when her children were small, and then she basically, what her daughter calls it is, you've relapsed without even taking a drink, because she's in this total devastation. She hasn't actually picked up a drink, but she's just like can't even handle. She's disgusted with herself because she's like, all those memories that I had of before with you kids, they're not how I remembered them. So she actually like saw herself and how she was when she was drinking. And I thought to myself, oh my God, if that actually existed, and I actually had to watch myself when I was drinking,
How you really
that would
were
put me over the friggin' edge.
versus how you thought you were.
I mean, I know it was bad, but I'm so glad that doesn't exist. Seriously. It's bad enough having drinking dreams. Like, that's enough for me to have to revisit that. This is what it's like. But I just found it really interesting. It's in just I guess, movies and TV series and stuff like that. Even music, like bringing up alcohol and drugs. I'm like in on it. Like, I hone in on that. You know, like I pay attention and I like judge it and yeah. So, but it's a really good series anyway.
You're into the Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah,
but you're not
kind of
into the Harry Potter stuff. You just like
I'm
this.
not into Harry Potter. I never watched their movies, right?
Yes.
All of them. I've never watched one of them.
I don't know if I have or not.
All I know is that it was like scooped up big time by all different, there's people wearing Harry Potter shirts and dressing up as Harry Potter for Halloween, and you make references to some monster in Harry Potter.
Do I?
No, it's Lord of the Rings. Never mind.
Gollum.
Yeah.
Yeah, my precious.
Yeah, I get those mixed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I talk about Gollum because when I worked at the treatment center at the time, and it was when people were getting on unemployment for COVID, and I was helping people out, get on that, and you'd see their eyes when they would realize that they're going to get like some money coming, and it would just turn into like this Gollum look. When he would see that ring from Lord of the Rings, he'd be like, my precious. And then he'd go around, oh, no, me okay. But he's like, in the back of his mind, it's like,
Yeah.
That reminds me of, Gollum, and just the fact that those guys they weren't thinking about the money. Well, yeah, the money, but the money's going to let them drink, and like you could see it right in their face. Like,
yeah, they've relapsed before they've even relapsed.
It's like, I just sent him a message the other day, asked if he's still alive. I don't know. It's one of those, but this guy was, actually there's an open where I talk about like alcohol affects the brain, and hopefully I'd like to think it didn't affect my brain like it did his, because he was just out there, man. And I don't know if it was just, he was a bright person, or if alcohol did that to him. I don't know. He's at a different level than everybody else. But he actually one time like stirred this Kool-Aid. He had like, he was Kool-Aid jug. He was making Kool-Aid, and he had just a little spoon. He didn't have like a big wooden spoon or anything. He just had a little big spoon. So he sticks his whole arm in there to get to the bottom to stir it all up.
I heard about that guy.
Yeah.
Just like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, they were talking about him again?
Yeah. They were talking about somebody who was stirring Kool-Aid with their hand.
Yeah. Like that was like, that's how legendary that was, like people at that place still talk about it today, and they weren't even there.
Yep.
It just gets passed down. But that just goes to show you, like, wow, like, why would you think to do that? I mean, if you're at your house, I guess I still wouldn't do it. It's my own Kool-Aid, like, why would you do that to a Kool-Aid that you're making for everybody else too? Like, that's, I don't know. I pray to Jesus, and I thank him that I'm not that bad, whether it was the alcohol or not. It was, yeah. Thank you, Lord. I'll give you a shout out again. Much love. Appreciate everything you're doing in my life. I prayed to him. The other day, I prayed to him a lot. I prayed to God. Thanked him. I was like, please make this pain stop, Flo. This hurts, man. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's like.
Well, you have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday.
I do?
Yeah.
For what?
For your guts stuff.
Oh, I do? Where's that at?
Monson.
Oh, what time?
We have to call on Monday and then pre-register for your Tuesday appointment.
Oh,
sweetheart.
You're talking about the one that's coming up in September?
No, it's this month.
Honey.
I have it in my calendar.
Honey. See, this is why I love my wife. At least she knows it's in our calendar.
Well, she
doesn't really know what we need to do.
You gave me the date.
Yeah, we have to call
I have the phone
we
number.
have to wait 30 days ahead.
I thought it was supposed to be on Tuesday. I usually
It is
pre-register
on
the day
Tuesday
before.
because you have to call 30 days ahead.
30 days?
Yeah,
That's
and then
stupid.
you have to call the day before to figure out what time I have to be there.
I didn't have to do any of that stuff.
On the 16th of September.
Huh.
But it's cute, though, that you at least had something written down, because I remember when you wrote it down.
Okay, so I am right, but I'm wrong about.
Really.
No, I'm just wrong about the actual date of the procedure.
Yeah.
But we do have to call on Monday.
Or Tuesday. Whatever day is written in there.
Monday.
Okay, is it the 16th?
15th.
Okay, because we got to call on the 16th because it has to be 30 days.
Oh.
So I'm just saying. I mean, it's cute though. I mean, I'm glad that you care enough.
Okay, you're welcome.
I was very confused. I was like, no, don't have an appointment on Tuesday.
Okay.
Pretty sure about that because I've been waiting forever. But anyway, yeah, my medical problems suck. But I don't know. You just got to do what you got to do to move forward with it. I mean, I'm not drinking over it. In the past, I would have. Absolutely. You know, you get that pain and that won't go away. And then the sciatica came back and that was killing me for a minute. But this is weird. It's like it switched over from the right lower back to like kind of the center and to the left. And when it does that, it's really weird. It like goes down my leg, but not in the sciatica way. It's more like in the bones. It's really weird and very uncomfortable. And then I looked up like all kinds of bone diseases and stuff. I thought, well, maybe. I don't know. It's really weird. And it hurts like hell. It doesn't go away. It's like sciatica, but in the bones. It's really crazy. And there's nothing. I'm the first person on the earth to ever have it, according to Google, because there's at least nobody searching for it. I really don't know how to explain it. It's frustrating. I feel like I know what Jesus felt like.
I don't even have anything to say about that.
You know, like
to that
having to go through this on your own.
So anyway, the football draft.
Yes, our NFL football draft, our 217 Sober League. Mm-hmm. We got our draft order. There's 12 of us. And it was funny because I told you, like, all right, on Friday, I was like, let's do it. I'm going to set the draft order. And you're like, all right, make me 11th, make me 10th.
That was a joke.
I was like, okay, honey. And I hit the button. Yahoo just kind of plops it out there. And then for a second, I thought you got it. I thought you got 11th. I thought you got what you wanted. And then I realized I was looking at round 2, and it's a snake draft. So it goes like a snake. Like, you know, you go from top to bottom, from bottom to top, top to bottom. You know? Mm-hmm. So you had a second pick.
Yeah, I'm not that happy about that.
I think it's probably the worst pick. Because it sucks because you're not going to get Jonathan.
Don't share my secrets.
Well, you're not because he's going to be gone.
Okay.
Unless Dan takes somebody else, I don't know. But he's probably going to take.
We should get into his brain.
Like, take Stafford, bro. Like last year, Tyrone had the number 1 overall pick, and he took Matthew Stafford.
Hey, it's about fun. That's what
it's
about. And nobody does as much research as you do about this, so I do not feel bad at all listening to you.
Well, yeah, but you don't take Matthew Stafford first overall pick. Like, he's not even the best quarterback, but Tyrone loves him. Like you said, it's about fun. So
it is, and I'm having fun. I've been doing these mock drafts, and I'm getting like D's and F's. So I got 1 C-.
So Tyrone.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, you don't know me. Like, you don't know what I'm trying to do. You don't know the people I'm playing with. You don't know what their strategy is. Having a strategy is knowing other people's strategy. So,
I mean, I give you a little bit of insight of who I'm taking, or who I think I'm taking. But again, that could all
no, but because what I want is not what you want.
No, and what you want could dictate, because you're picking 2. You know, it could dictate, like if you start taking kickers. You know, I could see Tyrone jumping on board, getting his kicker that he wants. You know, like who knows? But I mean, I should be careful what I say because Tyrone does listen. Tyrone, just do your draft thing, bro.
He's doing a lot of work too.
Yeah, the Fantasy Footballers podcast gave us the draft kits for free. Mm-hmm. You know, and because they know it's about guys and women in early recovery trying to do something new. You know, some people have never played before. And some people have, and it's a fun way to stay sober, or at least attempt to. But with you taking whoever you take, it could open the door for a bunch of other people to start taking those people. The next thing I know, I thought these other mock drafts that I'm doing in these other leagues.
Am I a pawn in your game now?
No, hon.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just want you to have fun. And it's funny because the first year, like, oh, yeah, whatever, auto draft it. I got to go. You just like left. And you're like, I got to go do something else. And so you left. And then.
Because I did not know what I was doing at all. I didn't even know how to use the freaking program.
And then last year you did the draft and you start taking players that you hear me mention, which I was kind of pissed off about. I called you an a-hole.
Yeah, you did.
You were in the living room. I was in the office. And I was like, you asshole. Because you took my kicker that I wanted, which was good because he ended up sucking ass last year. And I didn't have to get stuck with him. But so I'm careful with what I tell you because I know there's players that I do want myself, and it is a selfish program. Mm-hmm. It's being in recovery in fantasy football. Mm-hmm. So I'm not giving you everything, but I say it like this: if I get to a certain point, because I'm picking 10th, it's at the other end of the board. So I mean, it depends on what's there, and I have a strategy. I might run with it, and it sounds good until it happens, and then it's just like life in recovery. Like, and then you get to the real what's going on, and then you face the situation, and then what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. But at least I have a plan when I get there.
Yeah.
It's like if you go out partying with friends, you can party without drinking.
Sure can.
And then you get to a place and they're like, hey, you want to drink? And, do you have a plan for that? Probably. Mm-hmm. But do you have a plan for, hey, bro, come over here. Okay. We're doing lines off this girl's booty. What? Are you prepared for that? I don't know how you party. I've seen in some movies. People party pretty crazy.
This is where I'm talking about strategy. I'll use that word now, even though you don't really have strategy. Well, I guess you could call it that. I probably wouldn't. The people that I would be going out to party with, sober,
right,
probably already know that I'm sober.
Right.
So I don't think I would get myself into a situation where they're like, let's go have a drink.
Yeah, I'm not offering you a drink. I know you don't drink. But look at that chick. She's hot. And we can do some cocaine off her booty.
Still,
I'm just saying, throwing it out there. Might be a little wild, might be a little crazy, but I'm sure there's somebody out there like, yep, that's happened.
I'm going to pass on that.
But look at him. What if it's, hey, we're doing lines off his...
Absolutely not. That wouldn't even sound appealing when I was using.
Okay. I'm just saying, but you never know. And how you and I live today is we're married, We have fun with fantasy football stuff. We're not partying it up like that. But for someone who's new, early in recovery, still wants to be around those same kind of people, you realize that you're not going to want to be around those same kind of people because even if they know you don't drink or you don't smoke pot or you don't use heroin anymore, they're still, to them, oh, no, bro, it's different. It's like if you told somebody, hey, man, I don't eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch anymore. Got too much sugar in it. So, all right, man. What about they got this dude with cinnamon French toast? What? Yeah, man, it's different, bro. It's got less sugar. No, I'm good. I'm not just not eating cereal anymore. Oh, cool. You ever heard of Cheerios? No, I'm not having cereal, That was my analogy of going from liquor to beer. Mm-hmm. And then from, oh, well, you can just smoke pot or do this other drug or snort lines off people's body parts. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
So, yeah, no, I don't do cereal no more at all. I don't do any cereals.
There you go.
But some people don't understand and you get sucked into that. But, yeah, so hopefully you're not around those people that are going to take you to those bad places. But, yeah. So football is good. I don't know where we got off on that stuff. But. Yeah, but it is something that keeps me busy and it's fun for me. And I like that you are leaning into it. Mm-hmm. I think you're having a lot of fun with it. And we have another woman in the league this year. Her name's April. I don't know. Justin, it's his fiance. And Justin was like, well, now I can have two teams like you and Marney. And I don't think Justin understands that you run your team. And yeah, you ask me for advice sometimes, but you don't always take it, and I don't always give the best. I don't know everything about fantasy football, and that's another reason why I don't like giving you too much advice. You're like, who should I start this or that? And I'm like, I don't know.
Here's the thing: every single thing I ask you, I could Google myself.
Yeah,
is the thing. So, just do same thing with recovery. You got to do the work.
Yeah, and I've probably
have it be your team.
I probably told you to Google it before sometimes too, because again, it was that game last year, I believe, or maybe the year before, Elijah Wood You had him wide receiver. He wasn't doing shit all year. And you're like, honey, should I start him or them? I'm like, oh, yeah, start the other guy. As we're watching the game, and the guy that you left on the bench caught 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like an idiot. Like, and I wish I wouldn't have given you any advice.
I know.
Because I have a hard enough time with my damn team. You start the wrong guy, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
And then you do it for somebody else's team, giving them bad advice, and you're like, no. And getting no sex for like, put me on like an 18-hour ban.
Oh my God.
It wasn't very long, but no, it's fun. Try it out. But I just hope Justin is letting April do her own thing, and not really thinking, oh, this is my other team. Hopefully he's helping her along the way and experience the fun. Justin had never played until last year. Then he won the league out of luck. Won't happen again. But
no, she's a really smart lady, and I'm sure very independent. I'm sure she should probably she'll take it upon herself.
Yeah, it'd be like a slap in the face if she let Justin like tell her what to do. Like you said, she's smart. She can figure it out. Mm-hmm. If anything, you should start a nice little rivalry between the two. Friendly rivalry with, oh, yeah, I want to beat your ass this week. And you actually play April week 1.
Oh, that's right.
And I play Tyrone, which I didn't play Tyrone at all last year. That's the reason why I didn't make the playoffs. Because I didn't have 2 easy wins.
Love you, Tyrone. Love you.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
That's what I said, Tyrone. I said,
Man.
how come Tyrone's not on my schedule? This year, I get you twice. Maybe. I mean, if it works out like it did last year, I guess I'll play Tyrone twice. So, it's fun. Look for those other things to do. Those things that you're not comfortable with. Oh, I don't know fantasy football. I don't like it. I don't got time for that. You do. And try some of the stuff that you've never tried before. How do you know you don't like it? Well, because it's stupid. You're not really, if you were really playing football, shut up. Don't be stupid. Mm-hmm. It is fun. It creates something else for you to do, and it fills a lot of time. Mm-hmm. A lot of time.
Much time as you want it to.
Yep. I've been listening to the footballers. When do I usually start? March, April? April, I think, is when I start.
It doesn't ever stop.
Okay. I love it. And those guys are really good. Those are really good guys, a good podcast. And again, thanks to them for giving the guys in the league, the new people like you. I don't know if you've checked it out yet, but their ultimate draft kit, it really does help.
Yeah.
The people that are just kind of stepping into it. Tyrone needs to get on that, check it out. But again, they're just giving advice too. What they say is not golden. What they say, oh, this guy's going to be great. No. They make fun of each other because they pick guys that are wrong all the time. Mm-hmm. But they're having fun with it when they do it, and do the research on your own. Like you said, you can Google it. But I'm glad that we got to talk fantasy football today. And then I got to put together that video from Adam.
You do TikTok.
That'll be posted before the end of Saturday, the 13th. Yeah, and I do want to do a shout out. We kind of missed Thursday, but I didn't even know this happened until this morning. But I lost a family member who was dear to me. Mm-hmm. Didn't talk to this person a lot. I mean, but when I did, I don't know. It's just going to be felt through our family. This person was quite the personality, and it just really saddens me. And I'm not going to talk too much about it right now, but I did want to acknowledge that, and I don't know. I'm not like, I don't really know how to explain how I feel. It's not bummed. I'm trying to remember the good things and just the fact that I'm glad that I got to know this person. Mm-hmm. And I worry about other family members, because this person was so like, just, I don't even know how to say it. Huge piece to the whole family, really. But then the direct family, like, I don't know, it's going to be tough. Mm-hmm. And I feel for the other family members that were closer, and I just pray for them. And yeah, I'll do a different podcast another time about it maybe, but it's loss that happens, and I'm one of those people. I do believe in God, and I believe in heaven. So I think that there's a better place for people. Mm-hmm. And this person's definitely in a better place.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say Oh man, it's like, I mean, like I said, I feel bad for the people that were immediately affected, you know, like in the immediate circle. Yeah, that sucks, you know, but the person's in a better place. So
Yeah.
not that the place here was bad, but it's just, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, but just the ones that are dealing with the loss, you know, and
I think definitely like grieving is hard. You know, I've experienced one just recently as well. And, you know, it was, I consider him a friend. And, you know, it was unexpected, and a lot of people in the recovery community, he'll be missed for sure. He was a really sweet man. His name was Tim Johnson, and I had the opportunity to meet with his brother and his sister-in-law, and they were very wonderful and grateful, you know, for us being the, you know, agency that had housing that he was living in. He was holding his own, man. He was doing the thing, and I can tell you that he left us sober and peacefully, and so that's how we need to remember him. And we are being invited to the services that they're going to be the family's putting together for him. So that'll be neat, and it's kind of, I think depending on it, a lot of people have dealt with death a lot of, you know, through their lifetime, and some people haven't really experienced it at all. Whether it's family members or friends or partners or, you know, even pets, things like that.
yeah.
And it's a process regardless of the relationship, and knowing that that person, you know, isn't on this earth anymore. But that's one thing that gives me peace, is that, like you said, like knowing that they're in a good place. Like, whether or not, I don't know if people want to believe in heaven, I know for a fact that that man is in a really good place. And, you know, he struggled like a lot of us, and he was practicing living in recovery best he could. You know, a lot of good things were happening in life, and, you know, who knows whenever your time is that God decides, if you believe that. I do. And anyway, may you rest in peace, and, you know, your family member as well.
It's tough, but if you're somebody with some faith, I mean, maybe you think, oh, okay, when you die, it's over. All right. The way I believe it's a little bit, at least more out there for me, you know, and we don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in the 1400s, if you'd have been talking about electricity, you'd have been strung up and killed because they thought you were a witch.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can't see,
right,
that are actually out there. So, yeah, life's crazy. I mean, just think about how life happens. You know, like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the little sperm's got to get up in there and fight through all kinds of stuff, and then eat himself into that egg. I'm telling you, it eats himself in there. You say wiggles, but I think it eats.
The way that you like
Yeah, that's why I can't have offspring.
cartoon that is just hilarious.
My sperm's got teeth. Just saying, maybe they could. I don't know. I've never seen mine up close. I'm special. I'm different.
Yes, you are.
I'm not like everybody else.
Oh, Lord. Can we wrap this up?
Yes, we're wrapping it up. So thanks for listening, though. If you've experienced loss, you know, like, just do what you can to move forward. Remember the person as best as you can, you know, like, I might have to take a Chicago Bear player on my fantasy team in honor and memory of
There you go.
my family member. But yeah, my family member is kind of a big deal in the town I'm from too, because of the job the person had, and that's why I'm kind of like not really saying who it is or anything, but, you know, I still make sure the family, everybody knows. And and it's good. But when you get that call from somebody who never calls you, which was my mom,
Okay.
at 9 a.m. or whatever on a Saturday, and at first I thought, oh, my nephews must be over there and they want to talk to Uncle Corey. Then I answered it, and it wasn't nephews. I knew immediately like something was up, and my mom's like, well, I just didn't want it. And I'm like, oh no. And for some weird reason, my Aunt Barb came to mind, and I'm like, no, and she's a big fan of the show, so there's another shout out to my Aunt Barb. But I'm like, oh no, like I just had this sinking, and I'm like, okay, it's not, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, oh my God, it's my sister, like, oh no, and then it wasn't obviously either one of those two, but then she told me, I'm like, oh my God, no, like just such a huge personality and just good person. I remember being told that I was going to get my ass kicked. This person, if I kept doing this shit to my mother.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But no, she's one of those people that, like, I don't know, she didn't judge me for anything that I did. And, she was on my team. She wanted me to do good. She was one of those people that didn't want to see me do bad. And then I felt like I could talk to and be open with. And anyway. Thanks for listening, though. 217 Recovery Podcast. We're kind of all over the place. This is what we do. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, well, it's not a radio show. If it was a radio show, it would be way completely different. That's the beauty of this podcast is you and I just sitting down and getting stuff off our chests, talking about things that are on our mind, and we're in recovery. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So thanks for listening. Share it with your friends and listen to tons of other episodes on our app and our website. Tons of resources there too. And as Tyrone will tell you, you can win a bunch of free stuff. So check it out. I'll give you the address where you can go in just a second.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.